I am really excited, and I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win, and I really do think that with the group that we have, that we are going to win. We are going to get a championship sooner.
Sophie Cunningham's arrival in Indiana is already shaking things up. In her very first interview with The Fever, she exuded confidence, and fans are eating it up. Her jersey? Sold out worldwide. But it's what she said next that really stole the spotlight. Looking straight into the camera, she made a fearless prediction that has Fever fans hyped and Caitlin Clark skeptics nervous. I think we're going to win a championship.
This opportunity came about when I first heard about it. I was so excited. Like I just knew that it was my time to get outside my comfort zone.
This isn't just another roster move, it's a statement. The Indiana Fever, once overlooked and dismissed, just ask Cheryl Swoops, have completely flipped the narrative. Now, they've built a team that demands respect. With Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Natasha Howard, Dewana Bonner, Sydney Coulson, and their newest addition, Sophie Cunningham the Enforcer, this squad is locked in and ready to shake up the league. And Cunningham? She's already making it clear. She's here to silence the doubters and prove why the Fever are the WNBA's hottest team to watch. Are you ready? Let's get into it.
I just kind of heard what they were doing, and of course you have Caitlin, who's drawn eyes from all around the world. That was like, why would I not? Why not be a part of something great? You go from Diana, and now you're going to a team who is going to be a contender for a championship. And so I'm stoked about this year. I'm really excited for the players, but I'm also excited just for the community and the relationship and the culture that you guys have here.
Remember when Cheryl Swoops confidently claimed that no one wanted to play with Caitlin Clark? Well, that narrative just got obliterated. Swoops didn't hold back, boldly telling the basketball world that players would avoid Indiana like the plague. Nobody wants to play with Caitlin Clark, she declared, almost as if she had polled the entire league. Her words spread like wildfire, fueling critics who doubted Clark's impact. But now, the reality couldn't be more different.
What do you do, peeps? Cheryl Swoops is been missing. Cheryl Swoops is MIA. They got a APB out for Cheryl Swoops. If you see Cheryl Swoops, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
But here's where reality kicks in, and it hits hard. While those claims were making headlines, the Indiana Fever were focused on something far more important: building one of the most stacked rosters in recent memory. They didn't just add one veteran, they assembled a squad loaded with championship experience. Natasha Howard, a multiple-time champion and defensive powerhouse. Dewana Bonner, a proven scorer. And veteran leader, Sydney Coulson, bringing depth, experience, and that signature energy to the backcourt. Indiana isn't just building a team, they're building a contender.
We're going to be a phenomenal group. I'm excited for all the other pieces that came in this offseason with me. And so when I really see what I can do here, I'm confident in that, but I really am just excited for the big picture of what everyone brings to this team.
From the moment Sophie Cunningham sat down for her first interview. With the Fever, the energy was electric. This wasn't a player cautiously joining a team or sidestepping questions about Caitlin Clark. No hesitation. No doubt, just pure excitement. Cunningham made one thing crystal clear. She didn't just end up in Indiana, she chose Indiana. And in her own words, she's ready to prove exactly why.
Style of play that you guys are playing here, that Stephanie is going to bring here, it's run and gun, it's shooters, it's emotion offense. And so my eyes lit up like a Christmas tree.
Cunningham's excitement about Indiana's system was impossible to miss. It's a perfect match for her style of play. No doubts, no second thoughts. Just pure confidence. She's fully committed, and that includes teaming up with Caitlin Clark. For anyone still buying into Cheryl Swoops's claims, this moment made one thing clear: that narrative is officially dead.
I played an emotion offense my whole life outside of kind of Phoenix. You know, it was more one-on-one and let people do their thing. And if you're open, you're open. Where I'm more, I like to move. I like to run. I like to dribble and kick. You know what I mean? And so when you see Caitlin, when you see Aaliyah Boston, she's a great passer. Kelsey Mitchell is a great passer. That if you move and you make the great cut, you're going to get the ball. And I think that just helps everybody, free up. And so I like to run. I kind of get the name Forrest Gump jump sometimes, and I'm like, hey, if you guys want to call me, that's fine. I'll beat you down the court every time. But I really am just excited for the style of play and what I can bring to the table for this team.
If there was ever any doubt about Sophie Cunningham's impact, the fans erased it in an instant. Her jersey sold out almost as soon as she joined the Fever. This wasn't just about one player. It was proof that Indiana's movement is real. Players aren't running from the challenge, they're embracing it. And the fans? They're all in. Cunningham left no room for misinterpretation. I'm excited not just about what I can bring to the table, but our team's versatility. It's going to be huge, but her most powerful statement? The one that silenced the noise completely. I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes on me. I came here to win. With those words, she shut down. The idea that players would avoid Indiana because of Caitlin Clark, that narrative, officially dead.
I really am just excited about not only what I can bring to the table, but as a whole, our versatility as a team is going to be huge.
Sophie Cunningham sent a loud and clear message. Elite players want to be in Indiana. They see what's building. Caitlin Clark's generational talent, Aaliyah Boston's rise as a dominant force, Kelsey Mitchell's elite scoring, Lexi Hull's relentless energy, and the makings of something special. This wasn't a fallback option or a player settling for what was available. Cunningham is a seasoned veteran, and she chose the Fever. From day one, she's been all in, lifting up her teammates and setting the tone with bold championship expectations. No script, no rehearsed lines, just the perfect response to Swoops's claims.
Here, I've already been motivated. Like, I know this is a new, fresh start. I'm not in a box anymore. Like, I can finally be free and be in an offense that I think that I can really thrive in and be around players who our mind is strictly on basketball and winning. So I'm just remotivated. I'm refocused. I feel like I'm back, to be honest. I got a nice tan, and that always makes me feel good too. And so being here, honestly, it just makes me want to work even harder than what I've been doing.
When Sophie Cunningham talks about Indiana, she doesn't sound like someone who just landed there. She sounds like she's exactly where she belongs. Her game, her personality, and her championship mindset align perfectly with what the Fever are building. And while Cunningham found her ideal team, Caitlin Clark found something just as important: a protector. Last season, Clark took hit after hit with little response from her teammates. The infamous Kennedy Carter incident with the Chicago Sky? That was just the beginning. Before long, it felt like the entire league was taking shots at the WNBA's biggest star without consequences. That changes now.
I am just so excited to be here. I'm from the Midwest, and so for me to kind of get back to my roots and be close to my family, I'm so excited. Like, when I say that I am refreshed and I am motivated, and I just like kind of feel like my spark is back. Everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet, so this should be really fun. But for me, I'm excited to be closer to home. I'm excited to deep dive into the community of Indiana. I've already met a lot of really cool people. I'm excited to inspire the next generation of young boys and girls around here, get to know the community more.
All season long, Caitlin Clark absorbed hit after hit, hard fouls, flagrant shots, and unnecessary physicality. And every time she got back up, but opponents caught on fast. They knew there was no true enforcer on the court, no one to make them think twice before targeting Indiana's franchise star. The Fever had talent, but they lacked the veteran toughness to send a message. Clark kept taking the hits, and for too long, no one made the other team pay for it. That's about to change.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
I know I can be a little sassy sometimes. Not everyone loves that. But one thing is certain. I always have my teammates' backs. Always. On the court, I space the floor because I can shoot. And when you have playmakers, like Kelsey Mitchell, fast, dynamic passers, they get the freedom to do what they do best. Defenses collapse, and that's when I'm ready to let it fly. But beyond the X's and O's, I want to be more than just a shooter. I want to be a leader, a great teammate, someone who helps build a winning culture. That means putting egos aside and locking in on one goal: winning. And with this group, that won't be hard to do.
I'm a little bit sassy sometimes, which people don't like, but I love. My teammates always love. And to be honest, I spread the court. Like I can shoot the ball. And when you have playmakers who are quick, who are great passers with Kelsey Mitchell too, it lets them do their thing. And then the defense draws in and you're just ready to shoot. And so, I think that I'll bring a lot to this team. But at the end of the day, I want to be a good leader. I want to be a great teammate. I want to bring the culture piece and make sure our egos are put aside and that we're all in here to win. And I think that's going to be pretty easy with the group that we have.
Sophie Cunningham has arrived, and she's exactly what the Indiana Fever needed. She's not just a sharpshooter. She's a fighter, an instigator, and a competitor who brings an undeniable edge to the game. Her presence alone changes the tone for Indiana. Cunningham isn't afraid to mix it up, and when she says she plays with a little sass, that's an understatement. She's built for the intensity, and she embraces every challenge. Opponents won't just have to deal with Caitlin Clark's scoring, they'll have to think twice before testing the Fever's toughness. Because with Cunningham in the lineup, Indiana just got a whole lot harder to push around.
I'm just excited to kind of maybe be that calm piece when it needs to be calm, that feisty, sassy, stick up for my teammates when it needs to be that. And so just kind of reading the room and, whatever the team needs that day, being able to provide.
I'm going to stick up for my teammates, Sophie Cunningham declared in her first Indiana interview. I'm a fierce competitor. I want to win, and I hate to lose. That mindset is a game changer. The Fever aren't just a promising young squad anymore. They're a team that demands respect. With Cunningham in the mix, Indiana isn't just here to compete. They're here to battle. And opponents? They'll think twice before trying to push them around.
When it comes to being on the court, I really am. I'm spicy, I'm fiery, I'm the ultimate competitor, and I'm really just trying to do whatever it takes for my team to win. A lot of people have a lot to say about it, but honestly, any teammate that you've asked that maybe had opinions about me before, once we're teammates, like, we love you as him. I'm like, duh, I'm not a mean person. But to be honest, I think that it could be a game changer. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna hit my threes, I'm gonna do all that, but just from a young age, my parents were like, go be the hardest worker. Don't let anyone outwork you, but also enjoy it. Like, you work your tail off. So when it's time to play a game, go laugh, go smile, go yell if you want to, go be passionate.
Sophie Cunningham isn't just Caitlin Clark's protector. She's a relentless competitor. With an energy that never fades, she's even called herself Forrest Gump because she's always on the move, outworking and out-hustling opponents from start to finish. But Cunningham isn't just here to run. She's here to set the tone. When Clark is pushing the pace, Cunningham will be right there, not just as a deadly shooter, but as a physical enforcer, making sure no one dares to throw the Fever off their game.
I learned so much out in Phoenix. I was really blessed to have some really great teammates. You get to learn from the GOAT, Diana Taurasi. You've had a lot of people going in and out of that program. They've won championships, and so there's just a lot to learn.
Sophie Cunningham's basketball DNA comes from one of the WNBA's fiercest competitors, Diana Taurasi. In Phoenix, she didn't just pick up plays, she learned a mindset. Taurasi taught her that winning isn't just about talent, it's about grit, attitude, and knowing when to send a message. Whether it's getting under an opponent's skin or taking a hit to set the tone, Cunningham gets it. And now she's bringing that fire to Indiana.
People say I'm 3-and-D, which I've never really considered myself a defensive player, but I think the past couple of years, I've been able to get my body right. I've been able to bang down low and hold my own. And so I just think when you can get players who are versatile on not only the offensive end, but the defensive end, that's where you win your championships. That's where you make a statement. And so I'm excited to kind of get down and start working hard on the defensive end. I think as a team, we all have to kind of have that mentality, especially if we're trying to get to where we want to go.
What makes Sophie Cunningham a true difference maker? Her defensive versatility. At 6'1" with sharp instincts and quick footwork, she can guard anyone from point guards to power forwards. A major weapon for Indiana, her ability to switch seamlessly on defense eliminates mismatches, making life harder for opponents. And when teams try to wear down Caitlin Clark by forcing tough defensive assignments, Cunningham steps in, taking on the physical battles so Clark can stay fresh and focused on what she does best, dominating on offense.
Length causes some issues sometimes. With the bigger people, I can get into their knees just because I kind of have that strength. But for me, I think that's an area where I could actually improve on. Like, it's funny to me that people are like, oh, she can play some defense. I'm like, oh, I mean, I struggle with that. I know Stephanie White's going to be on me about, getting better in that area. But for me, that's an exciting thing. You know, a big shot is a great energizer. A great pass is a great energizer. But when you can get 3 stops in a row and you get the crowd into it and you frustrate the other team, like, that's the toughest stuff that I like.
The Indiana Fever didn't just add a shooter when they brought in Sophie Cunningham. They sent a message. The era of opponents taking cheap shots at Caitlin Clark without consequence. That's done. Cunningham isn't just a scorer, she's an enforcer. She's built her reputation on toughness, intensity, and making sure her teammates never stand alone. Anyone looking to test Indiana's star will have to go through her first. With Cunningham in the mix, the Fever aren't just more skilled, they're more fearless.